Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing Taroscopes for the sign of Taurus. That's Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising for the month of June 2025. Before I get started, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful group of like-minded souls. To my tried and true who have been with me for years, thank you so much. Your support and your friendship has meant the world to me. To my new members of my YouTube family and membership, thank you so much for supporting me. There's more to come, more baskets of deplorables, and more good news stories for you. And to my Patreon, thank you so much for your continued support over all these years. I really do appreciate it. So before we get started, with the tower reading, we're going to look at some astrology specific to you, Taurus. So let's connect with that here. Um, all righty. All right. So we're looking at June 2025 for the sign of Taurus. Um, we have the sun starting the month in the sign of Gemini. That is your second house, your house of resources, including your house of resourcefulness. Perhaps you've had to be more resourceful than usual, if that's even a thing, because honestly, Taurus rules resourcefulness. We also have Mercury there and Jupiter. Jupiter has been there now for going on about a year. It will be moving out of Gemini into the third house, the when it moves into Cancer. That's going to happen relatively early in the month. Jupiter moves into Cancer on the 9th, I believe it is. Let me just double check my information here. Yep, Jupiter moves into Cancer on the 9th. The good thing about that is Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, so it's very powerful. And it's in your third house of the mind. And so your mind becomes very fertile with Jupiter in Cancer there. We also have the sun moving there on the 20th when we have the first day of summer here in the northern hemisphere, or the first day of winter in the southern hemisphere. So the sun will only spend a month in that house. So it is your mind is highlighted through the month of June. We also have a new moon in Cancer there. So this is a time to plant a seed, perhaps for a new venture. It could be a new class. The third house is the house of learning. It could be perhaps you're doing something new in your neighborhood. It deals with your neighbors. It also deals with brothers and sisters and cousins. So you might be planning something with them. All of that happens towards the end of the month when the sun is in Cancer. We do have a full moon that happens earlier in the month. The full moon is happening on the 11th, and it's in Sagittarius with the sun in Gemini. So the sun being in that second house, the full moon in your eighth house, that's the house of shared resources. There could be something that comes to fruition at that time. Um, Perhaps you are getting some sort of money from something, whether an inheritance or an insurance payment finally comes in the mail at that time. The eighth house is things like insurance. It's also inheritance, and it's also around taxes. So you may get some illumination around taxes. You know, it's not always bad news. Sometimes it's good news as well. Your ruling planet Venus has been through it, hasn't she? She had a retrograde cycle. That retrograde cycle began in Aries, moved back into Pisces, and then moved back. When she went direct, she moved back into Aries. She's been moving through Aries, your 12th house now, for all of the month of May. And now, as we enter the month of June, she still has a couple of days. She actually moves into Taurus, your sign, and Venus is your ruling planet. So this is always good for you. She moves in on the 6th. So you don't have to wait too long into June to feel empowered by that Venus in Taurus. Slow and steady wins the race here. Venus moving through your first house will make you look particularly attractive this month. So don't be surprised if people are stopping and telling you how fantastic you look. That's the influence of Venus. Not only is Venus moving into an earth sign this month, but also Mars is moving into an earth sign. Mars starts the month in Leo. Mars likes being in Leo, but it did have its retrograde period partially in Leo and mostly in Cancer, which it did not like, did not enjoy, backwards or forward, I don't think. Although I do have to say, as soon as it started moving forward, people started expressing themselves, their emotions around different things. That was in February. It has moved now out of Cancer into Leo, and now it's moving this month into Virgo. Mars in Virgo is very different than Mars in Cancer. Excuse me, Mars in Leo. Mars in Leo is very self-expressive, stands up my way or the highway. Mars in Virgo is a little bit more reasonable. Mars in Virgo wants to test things. It wants to make sure that things are up to snuff. This is in your fifth house of creativity. So if there is something that you've been creating while Mars moves through this place in your chart, this is a good time for you to make sure that everything is in good stead. Like if you've created something, make sure all the screws are screwed in right. Projects, plans that it's possible that you've had to wait on because of the Mars retrograde energy that we exhibited. You will now actually be able to move forward on those projects. The fifth house is also the house of fun, so you could have a little bit of fun this month. Oh, good. I'm getting some. Thank you, dear. All right. So, let's see what else is happening. We do have Neptune and Saturn now both in Aries. They're moving together right now. They're very close to each other. They are actually conjunct, but the relationship between Mars and Neptune is a balsamic one. So this is really a time of letting go. We're getting intimations of what the future can look like, the different possibilities of the future. But there is some things, some ideas, some thoughts, some ways of being, and some structures that still need to dissolve away. All of this is happening in your 12th house, which is mostly a hidden house anyway. And so it's something that you might feel, but you may not actually see right away. And and yet it continues to happen. You will have Venus in that house in the 12th house, which it actually likes being in. Not so much likes being in Aries, but likes being in the 12th house. And again, once Venus moves into Taurus, it moves into that first house. So Venus is going to come out of that house, Saturn is going to spend 2.5 years in that house. Not yet. It's going to go back into Pisces, so it's not quite done. It's not just going to be in Aries. And then Neptune is going to be there for 14 years. But Neptune likes being in the 12th house. It's its natural house. And so in Aries, lots of new information coming in from spirit. So you can expect to hear a lot from spirit once Neptune's there now, so you're going to hear it now. But once Neptune's there for 14 years, it's going to be hard to quiet down the voices of spirit. Pluto again now in Aquarius for the next 18 and a half years. Plenty of time for you to transform your public persona, transform your work, your career. It is a transformational energy. It's also because we're dealing with Aquarius, it's a technological energy. So if you're in technology, you will see big changes. If you're not in technology, you will see big changes because of technology. It's important that you keep up on that stuff so you can keep current and useful, I think. All right. Mercury is moving pretty fast this month. It starts the month in Gemini, then moves into Cancer. It's in there, I think, about 2.5 weeks to 2 weeks, and then it jumps into Leo. Now it's going to be in Leo from the 26th to the end of the month, and then it's going to be in Leo all of July. So a lot of time with Mercury and Leo in that fourth house. It is going to be retrograde. That doesn't happen until next month. So there are some things that family things, conversations with family, fourth house, that will come back and will need to be reconsidered. So do your best to stay within the flow of that and a willingness to be open to changes when the time comes to change the plans with that. The North Node is in Pisces now, moving through that 11th house. Pisces is about imagination, and so this is a time where you can imagine a future for yourself. The 11th house is very much a future-oriented house, whereas the South Node in the fifth house is asking you to let go of perhaps overly perfecting quality that you might have. You know, being creative is part of being creative is a willingness to take the chance to create. But the other half of that is to let go of your creations and let them out into the world. I think many artists feel like that's the hardest thing to do is to, after you've made something, is to let it out, go out into the world. This could also be family and children, right? You raise your children and then you have to let go of them, and that can be difficult, and you might have themes like that coming up as the south node moves through that house. Mars, of course, is going to be in that house, um, perfecting things, working things out. Don't get caught up in having to make it too perfect. At some point you're going to have to let the baby out. Let the baby out. All right, Uranus still sitting in your first house. It will be moving into Gemini next month for a little bit and then move back into Taurus, as seems like everything does. Goes in just for a little bit and then comes back in. But it's still in that first house and it's still shaking you, and people are still surprised at who you are becoming. Taurus is not known for change, but when Uranus is in your sign, all bets are off. All right. So I think in general, a good month astrologically because your ruling planet is in your sign. And so slow and steady wins the race. Be as resourceful as you need to be. Make sure self-care is important, although most Tauruses don't need to be reminded of self-care. They're usually pretty good at taking care of themselves. Uh, but you don't need an excuse, but if you want one, say, hey, my Venus is in my first house. So I think generally a good month for astrologically, even though we're in very trying times, and the outer world is going to be a challenge. But I think your chart indicates some where there was instability or upsetment, that sort of calming down as we move into June. So, all right, so that's the astrology that I see for you guys. Let me jump out of here. Okay, let's do a card reading. Let me see where I have my cards. Oh, I think I have a deck right here. Let me pull this out. I'm not even sure what deck this is. Ooh, the Hermetic deck. I love this deck. You don't usually get it either. Taurus doesn't usually get the Hermetic deck. But it happens to be the deck that's right next to me. So it is the deck we will be using. All right. So what does Taurus need to be aware of for the month of June? This is the tarot, part of the Taroscope. Just a couple of good shuffles here. Just to move the energy through the deck. Get any last readings out of it. I think I'll do 5. 5 is the Hierophant in the Tarot, and it is your card, Taurus. That small, still voice within. One more. Somebody's cooking something. It smells good. All right. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Ooh, we have the Chariot. So we have big change. Big change coming. The Chariot deals with movement. So you are moving. Moving. Do, 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 do. But it up, but it up, but it up. anyway, uh, it's also about being on your soul's path. So let's see the challenge to that. It is a Cancer vibration. It's Cancer energy. And of course, Jupiter's moving into Cancer, right? The sun's moving into Cancer. Mercury's moving into Cancer. So all those Cancer uh, energies and issues in your chart are right up front, right front of mind, as it were. We have the Six of Pentacles as a challenge. Six of Pentacles isn't that challenging of a card. Um, I guess it could be concern over what's fair and what's equitable. There's a concern over what's fair and what's equitable. At the root, oh, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is somebody who is not afraid to make a decision, even the decision of chopping off somebody's head. Um, she generally uses good judgment. She's called in this deck the Queen of the Throne of Air, the Queen of the Throne of Air. And so this is about utilizing good judgment. I feel like you've made a decision. The decision has been made, and now you can't go back on the decision. So whatever it is, you're moving forward for it. It's just forward or nothing. That's what this looks like to me. In the past, we have the Five of Cups, so there was some emotional disappointment. There was some sorrow, but you have taken that experience and what you have left from that experience and have moved forward. It's almost like you haven't had there's a part of you that feels like you haven't had a choice. It's either move forward or nothing. And so move forward or something else. So I'm glad you're moving forward. In the sky, we have the Emperor card. This is about having dominion. This could be the outer world, somebody in charge, um, energy. This could be a boss. This could be a president. This could be a pope. This could be somebody in charge. Um, and this could be you. This could be you. This could be spirit saying you are in charge of your life. You make the decisions for your life. Okay. So if this is the outer world, maybe there's some dissatisfaction in the way the people are running things that are running things are actually running things. But I almost feel more it's like spirit is reminding you, yes, you are in charge of your life and you get to be the captain of your ship. We have the Ace of Pentacles in the immediate future. This is new opportunities, great potential for starting something new. So for whatever made you decide to move on and make this decision, I think it's a good decision because there's all kinds of new opportunities coming for you. People see you as the Nine of Wands. This is strength. Somebody who stands up for what they believe in, stands up stands their ground. This is the stand your ground card, right? This is somebody who protects what is important to them. Your domestic situation, we have the Seven of Swords. Is somebody could be doing something underhanded. You have to keep your eyes open for that. Not everybody, I think, is being truthful in a situation. There could be somebody who's trying to get away with something behind your back, but it's in your domestic situation, it's close to you. Could it be family? Could it be work? Yes, it could be any of those things. Just keep your eyes open for that. Hopes and fears. The moon, you're worried that everybody's losing their marbles. Well, that's a good enough reason to worry, honestly. Um, but you don't have to lose your marbles. And the outcome is the star. Very positive card. It's hope, it's inspiration. If you're not sure about the next step to take, I want you to meditate on what inspires you, do what you love, be surrounded by the things that bring you peace and bring you a sense of satisfaction. And I think that you will be inspired to take the next step, whatever that next step may be. Underneath it all, we have the Death card, which is transformation and change. So obviously, there was a big change that initiated this whole thing. We have the Lovers, which is about choice. So we have change and then choice. And then we have the Five of Wands, which is the Lord of Strife in this deck. But the Five of Wands is somewhat of a melee energy. And so it says to me that underneath it all, um, you were tired of other people making decisions that just brought chaos into your life. And I think you have taken control of your own destiny. That's what these cards say to me. So congratulations on that. All right, let's pick a animal oracle card to see what animal um, has something to say to Taurus. I always find this the most interesting because sometimes these cards are very different than the actual sign, and sometimes they're exactly the sign. So let's see what came up. Well, we have the hawk energy popped right out of the deck. The other morning, I walked out and a hawk flew over my head. I think it was a sharpshin. They're so beautiful. I mean, when they fly, it's just gorgeous. Okay, hawk spirit. I will read this to you. I'll hold it up and share the beauty of the card with you. Okay. Hawk is usually messages from spirit when you see a hawk. The ability to see both far and near, the details and the big picture at the same time. I'm not sure that's what it says in this book, but that's what I know of the hawk. Let spirit be your guide. Flying high above the landscape, the hawk sees both the big picture and the small details, observes the rain and the pond as well as the cloud. It doesn't miss anything. When hawk spirit arrives, you are called to pay close attention to messages from spirit. A lot of messages coming from spirit with that very, very crowded 12th house, by the way. Um, Listen to your intuition and keep your eyes open for synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences. Hawk Spirit asks you not to dismiss the signs that Spirit are sending to guide you. Lately, you have been hearing the same word or song or coming across the same symbol here and there and in the strangest places. Perhaps you hear a song on the radio with just the right lyric pertaining to your query, and you begin to notice uncanny coincidences. So pay attention to the signs that are being shown. I'll give you the protection message. It says, you noticing red flags, perhaps saying to yourself, oh, what pretty flags, and giving them no more thought. Hawk Spirit has arrived to tell you to stop and listen to the messages from Spirit. So just in case you weren't listening, I have a feeling you were, but just in case you weren't, listen. That's what Hawk has to say. All right, guys, have yourself a great month. I'll see you again in July for the Taroscopes for July. Until then, take care of yourself, enjoy yourself, enjoy enjoy the gifts from the work that you do. Have a great June. I'll see you again soon. Namaste.